Hey guys, Effie here. Today I'm back with a new card created using our new transformation butterfly stamp set. I start off by placing this placement guide into my original size Misty. Then I place my stamp inside that negative window. Then I close the door of my Misty, picking up that stamp. Then I have this previously cut piece that I put into that negative space. I brushed on some anti-static powder, stamped my stamp onto that piece using some embossing ink. Then I spooned on some gold embossing powder and heat the whole butterfly with my heat gun, melting all of that beautiful powder, turning it into this beautiful metallic image. Now I'm going to do some watercoloring using some Spectrum Noir Sparkle Pens. These pens come in 3, 6, and 12 packs, and I just bought a couple of the 12 packs in different colors because I have that full set syndrome. So now I'm just going to start my coloring. I laid down some pigment into my florals and then I blended that pigment out with a fine tip water brush. And the color that I'm starting out with for this flower is the Macaroon Sparkle Pen. The great thing about these pens is that you have this beautiful shimmer that is subtle. It's not in your face, glittery, glitzy. The sparkle is not overpowering at all, and I find that it adds a really nice, elegant touch to my watercolor projects, and they're very easy to use. They're great for traveling because you have the ink contained within the marker, so you just grab the marker and go. So they're very easy to use and I really love them. Now I'm just going to color in a few of the other flowers using the same Macaroon Sparkle Pen, and I'm just going to use the same technique for all the coloring on this entire image. Before I proceed with the explanation of the rest of my watercoloring, I just want to let you guys know that we do have a pre-order open for coordinating dies for this transformation stamp set. We did sell out of our first 2 pre-orders and now we're on to the 3rd batch. They are scheduled to ship on October 11th. So we do have some dies left from that pre-order. So if you guys want to grab one of the pre-order dies, I will include a link in the description box below. Now I'm just going to color some additional florals in this image using the Peony Sparkle Pen. This is a more dustier pink. It's not as bright as the macaroon, but I really love the contrast against that bright macaroon. It's just a really lovely color combination, and I love the almost monochrome feel that it has at this point because you have 2 shades of pink. Sometimes I go for very different colors like a pink or purple or pink and orange, but here I have the 2 pinks and I just love the combination. And now I'm just going to color in the greens using my Sage Sparkle Pen. And again, this Sage pen is just a really lovely shade of green, and I think it's the only green that comes in that 12 pack that you saw earlier, but it's just, I'm happy just using the one shade. I also use the Fig Sparkle Pen on these smaller flowers. It's a little bit more subtle. You can't really see it. If you don't have the fig, you can definitely use another color that you have in your stash. Now I'm just going to proceed to color in the left side of my butterfly wing, and I'm going to use the Macaroon Sparkle Pen. I just applied some of the pigment onto the edges of my wings, and then I brushed some of that color out towards the center of the wing, just blending that color out. Once I'm satisfied with the concentration of colors, this is the only color that I'm using in the wing. Sometimes I use 2 or 3 colors, but I decided to keep this simple. And now my coloring for this beautiful butterfly and floral combination is complete. And here I'm just zooming in and you can see the subtle shimmer from that macaroon, and it's just really beautiful. So now let's move on. I'm just going to ink up our Delicate Dots background stamp with our Crystal Pewter dye ink and just stamp this onto an A2 size panel, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Next, I'm going to trim this panel down about 1/8 of an inch on the right and bottom edges. Then after I trim that panel, I'm going to adhere it onto a side folding A2 card base. Next, I'm going to take our butterfly swirl die and die cut it onto some cardstock. I'll be using the negative piece as a stencil. So once I run this gorgeous die through my die cutting machine, I'm just going to pick out all those inner pieces, save it for a later project. Maybe I'll use it in a shaker, I don't know, but I'm just going to use this negative piece as a stencil. So I'll be doing a little bit of mixed media today using this Deco Foil Metallics Gel in Champagne Mist. I set my stencil, my DIY stencil, onto my polka dot card base, and now I'm just gonna start applying this gel onto my stencil because that stencil already has this beautiful flowy butterfly design. After I apply this gel on the top portion of my card, I'm gonna move my stencil carefully to the bottom portion of my card base and apply some more of this gel against the stencil towards the bottom of my card base. And now I have this gorgeous mixed media butterfly pattern on the base. I'm going to make sure that base dries, and now I'm just going to take the love die from our Love and Hugs word plate die collection and just die cut this from just the love word die onto some pink cardstock. Once I ran the die through my die cutting machine, I just took my needle, popped my word die cut out, and here you have this beautiful word die cut that's almost ready to use. And here, this is just a printable birthday strip that I created using our sentiment printable strips. Next, I created the backing for the love die cut using our SVG cut files. This cut file collection contains backings for all of the dies in our Love and Hugs word die collection. So once you have this cut out using your Cricut Silhouette or Scan and Cut, I'm just going to adhere that Love word die cut on top of that backing file that we just cut out. Next, I used Thermoweb's Ultra Bond adhesive to adhere these two pieces together, and this portion of the sentiment is already done. Now I'm just going to pop up my butterfly onto my base, and then I'm going to pop up the rest of my sentiments. The love is going to go right at the top, and then I'm going to trim my printable sentiment strip. I'm just going to cut the sending portion off. This is going to get popped up right above the love, and then I'm going to trim off the love portion on the rest of the sentiment. If I had kept the love on the sentiment strip, it would have been redundant. Next, I created an angled edge at the end of this portion of the sentiment and then popped this up on my base, and my card is now complete. I had a lot going on in this card with mixed media, watercoloring, a lot of die cutting, and I really enjoyed the process. I think that the end result came out really nice. We have a lot of pinks going on here. It's a very girly card, but I love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel because I update it weekly. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.